And what is up, guys? Technical Stinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for today. I own a business, but I had some free time, got into 3D printing, and I was like, let's make some money out of this. So I'm learning about 3D printers through this process, just exhibiting what I'm doing day to day so you can learn along with me, give me some tips and tricks. Just follow the process, see what I do, see what I don't, and enjoy yourself. I do giveaways and stuff like that, so subscribe to the channel. So what am I working on today? Well, if you've been following the past few days, you know I've been kind of switching things up a little bit, kind of just hyper-focusing more so on certain individual things, splitting up my Etsy identities among the various product categories, and kind of just doubling down on some of the more popular things. I've been looking around on Everbee, kind of looking at the analytics, and you know, really kind of focusing on, like, you know, some of these more popular art prints, and then looking into more functional slash type art prints. So let's see, quit yik-yakking. What have I got going on? I can see things, everything's quiet right now. All the printers finished over the night. I've got the rollers up here for my knockoff spool roller stand. I understand there's some abrasion to me sort of copying the idea for the roller, but you know, it's not a profit-making sort of thing. And also, just as like a realist sort of thing, like from a realist perspective, people put the files out there for free. I believe that's even an attribution model, so I could print and sell it. But I mean, people put it out there. Everyone else is going to use it. I imagine that an overwhelming majority of people do that kind of thing. So I'm just being real. I mean, I'm not going to try to hide sort of what I'm doing. Like, oh, no, I didn't do this. Like, I didn't copy any of these files. I measured them, but I didn't use any of the files. So I understand there's people that don't like that, and if you don't think the world should operate that way, hey, that'd be great if it didn't, but it does. So I'm not one to stand up on principles or shout platitudes or anything like that, because I'm about the Skrilla. And also the Skrilla for charity, which is what that roller thing is for. So hopefully getting that up soon. P1P is quiet, A1's quiet, all the Cobras are quiet. Down here on Cobra number 4, the Moai head, I was having issues with the lines, set this to a static speed all the way through, and it seems to have fixed the issues. So certainly that was it. I can kind of see a tiny bit here, so maybe that's travel time. Even though it's like a similar amount of time, like a speed, it's 80 millimeters all the way through. But I guess when it switches into the overhangs here, it just, the additional amount of time it takes, but it kind of smoothed it out. Certainly, this is a really cool, I really like this rainbow stuff. The problem is like you can't make a consistent product out of the rainbow PLA because every spool is gonna be different. So all of these that I list are gonna be like one of one. When they sell, that's it, and I just kind of update the picture or create a new product. A little more laborious, but you know, this is like I'm listing at like $40 or something like that, I think. This is like a 13, 14 inch Moai head. Pretty solid, hollow. 3 wall loops on this one. Looks pretty good. D20 cube, I'm gonna pop that sucker off and we're gonna look at that in the office because I haven't looked at it. There might be F-ups on it, I don't know. But the major F-up was down here on the Giga. So one of my thinkings with the Giga was, if you remember, I printed that great big Tyrannosaurus head, but it goes into oversized shipping charges because it is so damn big. So I thought, okay, now I know what the oversized shipping size is. I'll just print a T-Rex head that will fit into barely a big enough box for me to avoid that, and then I can still offer a ultra giant T-Rex head. So I started one down here on the Giga, but unfortunately this morning, as I was just kind of coming in here to look at it, I caught it as it began to fail. Started to hear it not. Let's move this, we want Z up, 100 millimeters up. Raise the gantry, 100 millimeters at a time. All right, so I heard sort of a knock, so I guess it caught, obviously it started failing down here, but in this interior section, I guess the overhang was just a little too aggressive. And then I noticed it started trying to extrude out here into space, like it missed the overhangs, but this was like the first time it did it. So I don't know if the nozzle got caught here and it kind of threw it out of whack or something. I have no idea because the print was looking fantastic up until then. Now I was running this hollow at 3 wall loops, maybe even 2 wall loops. And this thing is like super solid. So I could probably even take it down. I might even run a test with this at 1 wall loop with maybe like 2% infill or something like that, because this 1 millimeter nozzle giving me a 1 millimeter line width, I don't know that I really need it to be that much stronger, but you get the idea. It was going to be sort of a smaller version of the T-Rex skull that could fit into a undersized box. So Gonna take that off, gonna kind of come down here and yoink this out. Maybe try running it with one wall loop. I know that sounds scary, right? One wall loop. Luckily, it's about a spool's worth of filament. Not too much, but you know, there's some good, needy, hungry sea creatures that will benefit from that once we dump it. All right, let's grab this bad boy. Okay, right off the rip, I know it's, I ran it too thin. For sure, too thin. It's a little, I can't even, it's like so lightweight, it floats like a feather. I can't even get a grip on this thing. Here we go, here we go. All right, let's take this in the office and look at it. All right, and so right off the rip, this is a no-go because of the top surface. I needed more top surface layers to kind of balance this out. It's super smooth except for when it isn't. And I noticed the surface finish on this stuff, like the filament settings seem fine. I just think I need more layers. But really where the failures were these initial faces, really on the 9s. And this is the one that Paul sliced for me. Thank you again, Paul, for chamfering out these numbers. How'd the 9 come out? That's always the number. Excellent. So yeah, I think we got a winner on this. 6 looking good, 16. All right, so I think, yeah, we got a winner here. I just need to beef it up. Beef up the top layers, add another wall loop probably. You know, and I've been meaning to move one of my Cobras to a, like a 0.6 or a 0.8 NOS on that, but I'd have to do the flow test and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, it's not like I'm using them that heavy. But for things like this, it just takes so damn long to print this. If I can move to like a 0.8 nozzle with like a 0.5 layer height, then I could really bring the times down, or at least have the same amount of time, but be able to do like 3 or I guess 2 wall loops at that point. But the numbers look great on this. So actual progress on the D20 instead of me just trying it over and over and over again with these microscopic adjustments that just work sometimes and then they don't work. And it's like, you know, it's kind of hard because you think you got it figured out and then it does the same problem again. And you're like, okay, what the hell? Yeah, top surface here, if we can address that and get that fixed up, I think we got a winner. But yet again, it's time, we got to feed them. It's time to feed them. What do we do with our fucked up prints? We throw them straight in the ocean. I don't know why we can't swear. Everyone I know swears. Everyone I've ever known swears. Everyone in public swears. Every parent I've ever known swears in front of their kids. For some reason, you can't swear on TV because of the children. Oh well. All right, so if you probably saw in the B-roll, I got I had a bit left on that glow-in-the-dark PLA from Bamboo. So I went ahead and did a like normal size T-Rex skull. Glows in the dark, took some pictures in the dark of it glowing, just turned the exposure down a little bit, you know, and I'm not like a camera guy, obviously, but looked pretty cool. So gonna throw that on there. Again, everything I'm doing is like a one-of-one type thing. And unless the product proves itself and I start, you know, like selling multiples, then I can start pre-printing some for stock. But overall, another cool little thing. Got this listed yesterday. It's the PAL sphere that I was talking about yesterday. I got silk PLA coming in, gold and blue silk PLA, but I cut out a rubber bottom here, keeps it from sliding around, and actually works pretty good. But it's just a very simple phone stand. You know, people like gaming, people have phones, put your phone on the phone stand, sits on your desk, and everybody knows that you like Palworld now. So thought that was pretty cool, came out nice. I did a lot of adjustments to kind of prevent supports. I do have some supports on here. Some of the edges may be a little rough, and you know, remains to be seen if I can really get silk to work with this model. Eats a lot of filament because I wanted it to be solid and somewhat heavy, but not, you know, like overly heavy. But I think adding the rubber base was a nice touch. Got it listed right now. Give it a few days for traffic because I've never really tagged in video games or anything like that with any of these products before. So it's going to be an interesting test to see if kind of incorporating trendy sort of stuff with useful stuff actually works out. Remains to be seen, but I am optimistic about this. And so we got our big car parts here. These are the ones that I've been printing on the Giga the past few days. Gonna send these off to Mr. Customer. I showed him pictures. He said they look good. And so hopefully that all works out. And you know, maybe in the future if he wrecks his car, or not like wrecks his car on the track or messes up the fenders, he comes to me looking for more before he goes out and buys a Giga himself. Because at this rate, if he's doing this that much, maybe you should just buy a Giga, Mr. Customer. But hey, I need the money too. So that's what I'm working on today. I'd love to know what you're working on in the comments below, or what you think of all this stuff in the comments below. Once again, I appreciate everybody stopping by and following me along in this process. Again, be sure to subscribe to the channel. A lot of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel, but seem to be viewing the content ongoing. So once again, throw me a subscription. Be sure to like the video because it's a nice thing to do. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.